Okay, I think the streaming has been started. All right, so good afternoon, everyone. Once again, today we are going to discuss from where we left off,
Yes, sir.
uh, practice problems. And since the PPT deadline is also over, uh, we will try to discuss PPT one problem also, if possible. Yeah, ideally it should be helpful. All right, I'll just put the link to the YouTube here in case someone needs that. Okay, let me share my terminal. I hope my audio is clear enough.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Yeah, thank you. Let me start. So as usual, we will describe the problem statement and then we'll have some time to allow you all to share, try to solve it and then we'll share the solution. Like we will discuss the solution for the problems. Okay, so let us see. This is again the system commands. So we will see OPT SE2001. So I think I remember we've done till practice 4.2. In case you wish to discuss a solution for that, that is okay. But I'll start with practice 4.3 today. Okay. So again, you have to go to SE 2001 because I am in the home directory. I go inside that and then I do mkdir practice already there. So I'll do 4.3. Okay. And then I go to practice 4.3 clear. I do synchro show. Okay, so this is what you have.
Sir, till practice 4.9 done, sir. In TS session, they solved till 4.9.
Oh, they already started till 4.9, is it? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but I was informed that the session that they took, wherein it was solved, I think. So it was not for both for system commands and Linux shell. It was only for one of the courses. So in that they were saying that uh, they might have solved it for only one group of the students. So it's okay. So then in that case, what we can do, that we can start with BPT problems. Would that be okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yeah, okay. So what we can do is we can take practice 4.3 and so on later if time permits, like at the end. Before that, we'll start with BPT then in that case. Okay, so for that, I'll do ls opt SE2001 and we'll start with this one, BPT1 problem one. Okay.
Sir, but in Linux, sir, there is a problem practice 4.10 in which we are stuck, sir.
So I'll stack in a specific problem, is it? 4.10.
Yes, sir, 4.10.
Okay. Is 4.10 here? Yeah, it is here. This one is it? You would like me to discuss this one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, ideally I was hoping I could go in the order, but since you have asked it, maybe we can quickly just see the problem statement. I'll come to solving it later maybe. What is the problem statement? Okay. So you've been given some code. Okay. And then starts with so and so. And then okay, so there's a specific pattern that has been given to you. You have to print the count of such mhm, such occurrences, I believe. C++ files, yeah. Okay, in the current directory which contain a line. So there are two things. You have to look for C++ file extension, that is .cpp, and the file when you count it, It should also contain this line, okay, and so on. So this pattern is specified. Accordingly, you have to match it and then count. That's fine. Yeah, so maybe I'll come to discuss this at the end, maybe. Okay. Let's start with the BPT one.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. So, all right. BPT. This BPT is important, right? BPT 2, I believe, also is released. So I would request all of you to complete it because that is having criteria for the eligibility for the OPP also. No? Okay. So, okay, this one is easy, right? I believe everyone. Do I need to specifically discuss the solution for this one, or is it okay? Because it's not very difficult. If you want me to escape, then I can go to the next problem also. Okay, let's have 5 minutes for this one, so that everyone can try out. Deadline of BPT2. Somebody's asking. Let me check.
15
15th February.
February.
15th February.
15th. Okay. I might have got an announcement also. Let me see. Hmm, yeah, BPT. The deadline is 15th. Yes, thank you. So let me come back. Talks about creation of the directories. So there are ways to do it. One thing is that you can individually go into different directories that you are creating, and then inside of that you create the subdirectories. That is one way. Of course, that is difficult to do because there are 5 departments, team A to team C. So that will be 15 directories in total. And then inside of all these 15 directories, there are 10 files pertaining to the project, like project 1 to project 10. So of course, you understand that it's difficult to do it manually, meaning by going into every directory. So then in that case, we use the brace expansion method to quickly do this. Okay, it only takes one line, interestingly enough, to do this one. But I'll give maybe 2 more minutes. This one, and then let's get it. All right. So I hope everyone has tried this out. Just quickly do this one. So as I said, you can one way to do is to just create the separate directories and then go inside of each of them and then do it. So there are two other ways to do this one. I'll show. So before that, I'll just quickly show one thing. So this is an empty directory. Okay, so synchro init actually creates the directory. This one, but that's okay. Inside of that, we have to anyway create the team directories, right? So for example, What happens in general is that if you go to any empty directory, okay, I think I already solved. Therefore, we are having this.
Yes, sir, it
Let
is.
me, okay, let me remove this. Just give me one moment, please. Getting a call. Okay, so I'll do RM minus R, that VPT, right? Okay, so let us start from the beginning. BPT, BPT1, problem one. I think the problem two we also described earlier. Okay, go here. Okay, so in general, what happens is you have an empty directory. That's a separate thing that I'm telling. You have brace expansion that allows you to quickly create so many files. For example, here, if I were to touch, let's say 10 files in this directory itself, because nothing else is there, 10 files having the format such as this. So project 1 to project 10. I mean, I'm just writing it on. This will not work like this, but something like this. So what we can do for that? So if I do project 1, then only project 1 comes up. Okay, project 2, only project 2 comes up. Right. So all these files, like multiple files, can be created like this. If I keep giving this, so let me again do that. RM project strict. So it'll remove this. Yeah. So what I'm saying is I can have like this, right? Project 3 and so on. If I do this, then it basically creates all these three files. Okay, so then one way is to do this one. The other way is to do something like this. I'll just override. So
Yes, sir, bracket
I'm
expansion.
doing it. We
Give
give this
range.
one, yeah, yes. So brace expansion. So if I want to start from one, then I give dot dot, and then I say five. Then it basically creates 1 to 5 like this. Okay, so 1 to 5 is created, and same thing can be done for directories also. So for example, I can clear it. Okay, so for example, it is asking about the departments, and then there's a directory is also is there, and then for every project we have to create, we can also create for the department. So init, if you do init, it will be created. So for example, we do synchro init, right? So directories are created, but I wanted to show you one more thing actually. That is okay. You go to team A, and then inside of that you have to create 10 of them. So basically you do touch. Okay, that is one thing. The other is that you can do the same thing for directories also, meaning you can use brace expansion to do it, like create the directories as well as the project. So for example, you can do touch because it basically expands it, so that way the format, right? So I'm here we have department, and then department is from 1 to 5, and then I'm going to go inside that, right? You see, so it'll expand all of it. So I go to department 1 to 5, and then project, sorry, it's team, right? Before that you have team, and then A to C, team A, B, C, and then for every team folder, meaning team A, team B, team C, you are having 5 projects. So you can just do it like this. You just touch it because the directory is already there, right? So department 1 to 5, team A to C, and then you have project directories. Projects are up to 10, right? So you just do 1 to 10. If you do this, sorry, that's if you do this, then you see if you go to department. In fact, let me do 3. That will be better. So you see this, right? So in every directory you have 1 to 10. Team C, Team B, Team A, this is Department 5, and so on. So this was very easy that way, right? So you can do brace expansion not only for one argument, but even if you are specifying paths, you can have multiple brace expansions that are possible. So what happens if I were to do echo in general, the path how it is expanded is that I say Department A to Department C, for example, and then inside that I say project 1 to 3 like this. Okay, then you see it expands out everything. So there'll be nine such paths, right? So for example, for A you have 1 to 3, then for B 1 to 3, then for C 1 to 3, and so on. So in total 9 paths. So this is
So
how
we
it
have to use
gets.
touch or echo.
No, we have to use touch to create it, but I'm saying that this idea of brace expansion is general enough. For any command, you can use brace expansion and it does that for you. So in this case, I'm showing it for echo, how it is expanded, like how the expansion happens to show
So
that I've used the
what
echo
Eco is
command.
doing basically, it is like editing or it is creating new files. What it is doing?
No, it is doing nothing. It is basically echoing whatever is specified. So if I were to echo IITM,
Uh,
then it says
it's
IIT.
used as a
Okay, so it's editing
key.
basically.
Hello,
Yeah, go
hello.
on, Vivek. Any questions?
Yeah, sir. Echo is working like print in
Yeah,
Python, printf in
right,
C language. It is like working like print.
correct,
Sir, you mentioned that brace expansion can be used with any command.
right.
Um, I encountered few times that there are few commands which
Hmm.
actually don't support it. Like
Okay,
there is one install command which is used to copy, and I was using it and trying this, and it didn't work.
okay. So maybe it might be that it might be specific to that particular scenario wherein you were trying to use maybe some things were not there. So for example, I'll show you one case where it will not work. I think have to we have to differentiate it. So I'll just do rm minus r. Yeah, sorry. So so for example, see, you see what happens if I were to touch to, let's say, department, because department directory is not there. I'm going to touch to department A, project one. It'll show an error. Okay. So what I'm saying is that if you are trying to do brace expansion in which the directories are not there. Okay. So let's say, okay. So let me do this thing. I'll just create for department A, right, and A to C, and then I'm just doing project one. I mean, it's easier that way. Okay, so you see for department B and department C, error comes in, but for A, it will be created. Okay, so the point is, the idea of brace expansion is that it just expands it for you. If after expansion, the command that is run, if that is having some issue, then that'll stay. I mean, it is so it might be that whatever command you try to use with the expansion, it
Getting
might be
your
the
point.
sorry.
Yes, I'm getting your point. Like you're saying, it will expand it and then pass each argument to the command, right?
Right, right. So it might be that when you try to use it with the install command, maybe the expanded version did not work. It might be that.
Um, it was there. Okay, I just look it again and then
Hmm.
I will tell you. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, fine. So that is a handy thing that has to
Sir,
be there. Therefore, they said the directories will be already be there, so that when you use expansion, those directories are there, and then you can get it. The other way to do it, there's one more way. I'll show you. There's a
sir,
raised hand I see. Yeah, just give me one moment, please. I'll just finish this one
no problem, sir. But the recording is not available, sir, for this.
and then take questions. The recording is there. It is being streamed on the YouTube.
Okay, sir.
Okay, it's in department A, right? So maybe I'll do RM minus RF R for everything. Yeah, what I'm saying is there is one more thing. This is specific to uh yeah, this is specific to MKDA. Yeah. There's one thing that I like to show. So for example, if I were to do department A team A, right, then because department A is not there, it cannot create team A. Right. Had I been already in the department A or department A existed, then it would work. There's one argument that you can give to make MKDA that will allow you to do that. If you say P, then it ensures that the parent directory is also created if it is not there. Okay. So department A is not there. I'm creating team A inside department A, but department A is not there. So if I give minus P, it'll make sure that it creates department A as well as team A. Right. So you see this is done. So then if I were to do this, then I can basically again replicate the same thing. I can go to department A to C, and even if it is not existing, I can go inside and then I can have team A to team C. Is it up to C? No, department 1 to 5, right? Okay. Department 1 to 5. Of course, Synchro does the creation of the directories for you, but I'm just showing so that it is handy, right? So I can create like this. So all the directories will be there now. from department and team. So everything is there. Right, department A was already created, it is there, but I'll remove this. That is okay. And then I can use the nudge command as usual. So then in that case, I need to go to every department. So I can have this 5. Sorry, it should be 5. Yeah. And then inside of every team, I have A to C, and then I go to project. Same thing, right? Basically. So it's the same 1 to 10. Right. And I will do synchro eval. You see it. Okay, so done. We'll move on to next. Yeah, please go ahead with your questions. Who was asking? Mm, I think BPT2 is also there. I'll just remove it so that we do that again. Sorry, one problem two. Yeah, and then I'm going to create it again. Clear and close show. Oops, I have to go inside that now.
GPT-2
Problem two.
underscore problem.
Yeah, okay, okay. This one is about the hard links and so on. I'll give 5 minutes on this one. We'll discuss. Again, you can use bit expansion for this one also. Yeah, there is one more thing that I like to mention about remove it. Somebody's mentioning it's already done. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir, it is
So
already
then
done.
maybe I'll take 2 minutes and then move on to the next. Fine. Uh, yeah. So before we move forward regarding this question, there is one thing that it shows us. I'll mention that. So I have shown you this one, right? 1 to 5, and then it basically echoes it whatever you give. You see. But you can also have something like this. So you can have. So if I want to create something, let's say in that I have two things that I want to create. Like I want to create, let's say, library, so lib and module, two directories. So you can have it like an array also. So I want to inside of project I can have lib and I can have, let's say, www also, just as an example. Okay, so then it echoes both. I think space should not be there.
Yeah, SPS is not allowed.
Mm. So it is not as if you just have the dot expansion like from 1 to 5 or series kind of. Need not be a series. You can have multiple things, anything inside of that, and basically it expands. So 1 dot 5 basically is is where to brace and the dot separate from each other. Let me see. No. Okay, they are not. So if I want to create something, I want to use the braces only. Fine. Okay, like this. Okay. All right. So then we will move on to. Okay. So shall we move on to the next one? Then in that case, this one need not be done, is it? Okay. If you have questions regarding this one, we can come back and check that again. So let us go with
For the time
other one.
permit, sir, can you take us through this very quickly?
This one.
Okay. Yeah, problem number two. Yeah, very quickly.
Okay.
Time permits, otherwise we can come back to it.
Yeah, I'll come back to this one maybe at the end because
Yeah,
other
yeah.
students
Schedule
might
is
have
done.
not have
Schedule
the
is done.
other
Yeah.
ones. Yeah.
Schedule is done. Yeah.
Yeah. So let us move on to the next one for now because it might take a little bit of time. It's okay. Um, problem three. The VM is working a little slow today for some reason. Okay. Problem three. How many problems are there in 31?
Uh,
Four
there are
problems.
four problems.
Okay, okay. Synchro show. Mm, okay. Differences. Okay, yeah. So we can have 5 minutes on this one. Is easy, not so difficult. After that, we'll discuss. Let me in fact clear and do that again. Yeah. All right. So since this is a script question, uh, maybe we can start with doing the command on the terminal, and once it works correctly, then we'll move that command to the script so that we can evaluate it using synchro. Okay. So it says two things. One is that there are two files, file one and file two, in the OPT assets directory. Do we need to run the init? No. Okay. So it's already there. Each line containing a list of names of world rivers, one name per line in the current working directory. Okay. Why does it say about OPT assets then? Okay, we'll see to it later. Write two sequential commands in a file script.sh. So sequential meaning it says the first command should basically display the references. The next command should display the common um, common names in these two files. So that will do. Uh, okay, and make it executable. So okay, that is fine. All right, so we have to use diff and com. So this is like difference, and this is like what is common. That is fine, but it might be that we might need to use some extra flags. When using this diff and com to actually output in the format they want. So we'll see later. But before that, let us try doing it. Okay. So it says in the OPT assets. So maybe we'll try it. Does the file is the file there? I'll just check it using cat. So OPT assets. Okay. File one. Okay. Yeah. So these are the names of the river, and you also have file two, and this also has a river, a list of rivers. Okay. So let us start with diff, and let us see what happens. So um, what we can do again is having file one. can, sorry, we can do diff, and again, so opt assets file 2, file 1 comes first, and then file 2. So this shows it like this, you know. Okay, it's fine, but there is a, there was a
So your voice is breaking.
let, yeah, am I audible? Is
Yeah,
my
now
voice
it's
clear?
now it's okay, sir. But for last couple
Oh,
of
I'm
minutes, we
sorry.
could not listen to you.
Oh, sorry about that.
Now again breaking, sir.
Might be okay. Might be a network issue. Um, is that okay now? All right,
Yes, sir.
fine, fine. Okay, so no, what I was saying is that yeah, go on, Swapnil.
Sir, can you explain the
Any
result
question?
that we get difference like there are some numbers 5 comma 6. Can you explain this?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. So I'll describe it. So before we describe it, there's another format, wherein we see it side by side.
Sir, noise is not proper.
Rejoin, please. In that case, okay. Will that be okay? I'll just rejoin.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, hello. Is that better now?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
and now it's better.
Sorry about that. Maybe a network issue on my side. I just share my screen again. All right. Okay. So yeah, that's what I was mentioning about. Okay. So this is the difference, but we need to see both side. So for that there is an argument. I'll just maybe see it from the help. That is what I was trying to see. Mm, it says okay, yeah, this one right side by side is the argument literally. So maybe we can see it using this. Okay. So you have to give it so that we see exactly where Okay. So what happens is that you see Amazon and so on. This is fine. This one I think was not there. Okay. So therefore you don't see it on this side, but you have the space for it. So we do it so that we make the again to make the view unified, meaning the number of lines on both sides are common. So for example, this is again a blank here, but you see this has been added in the other file, like in file 2, for example. Okay, but this was already there, so this is still there. Similarly, yellow is here on the left side, but it is not there on the right side, so we just see a blank in this case. So maybe yellow was there in file 1, but it got removed in file 2. Okay, so this is how you see it and this is what they mean by a unified format, I believe. So maybe we can have this
Sir,
one and then
for unified format, we have to use minus u command, sir. This is a side by side format.
minus u. Okay, okay. So for unified, you see it next to each after each line, is it? Okay, okay. Let me
No,
see.
sir. In unified
It
format,
should
One
be
u
in a
a small u, sir.
small u.
A small u, sir. Yes, sir.
this one.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay. Plus and minus.
Plus
Oh,
and
I see.
minus, yes,
Thanks.
sir.
Oh, mm-hmm. So again, same thing. Similar to how we were saying in the seeing it in the side by side format. When so for example, yellow got removed right in file 2. So similarly, it was not there on the other side. So in this case, you see minus. Okay, so meaning it got removed. But in this case, I think the order matters, right? So it is comparing file 1 against file 2. So it means it says minus yellow, meaning yellow got removed in file 2. If I were to change the order, if I were to change the order from file 1 to file 2 to file 2 to file 1, the other way. Oops, sorry, I think the argument is wrong to give. Yeah, see. So in this case, it says plus yellow because it depends. I mean, it sort of becomes uh, you know uh, important as to which order you're comparing, because if you compare file 1 and file 2, then it says minus yellow, meaning yellow was removed in the right the file in the right side argument. So this one. Okay, so it checks it. File 2 is the original, and the different one is file 1 after that. So it checks against that. So in this case, since file 1 has yellow and file 2 does not have yellow, so it says plus yellow. If we compare it in the other order, then it basically says minus yellow, because in file 2 it was removed, right? So therefore it becomes important in which order you are comparing. I think it should be, in our case, file 1, file 2, as the question asks for it. Yeah, and thanks for that argument. The U is basically the unified format. Okay, I was thinking about side by side view. Okay, now the other thing is com, so that shows common. So we'll try that one. Okay, same thing. So maybe I can copy the path from here, but I'll just do the other way. Let us try it like this. Okay, and we can have it like the other way also. hmm So in this way, shows file 2 on the right side. Okay, fine. But do we need to specify any format for this one? I'll just do a synchro show. Mm, yeah. Okay. So for com, we just need to print the names that are common. Okay. So in that case, there must be a argument that allows us to do that. So I'll check in help. Okay. So hmm. So you have to suppress these two columns maybe. If
Yes,
you
sir, for
if you
column 1 and
remove,
2 also.
yeah. So it just shows column 3 wherein the lines that are common to both files will be shown. So that is easy to do. Okay. So I go to, there's one more thing I'll show for this. So if you do this minus 1, 2, so 1, 2 will be gone, and it shows the only the common names. Another thing that I was about to mention, that since we are using this absolute path to OPT because it's not in the current directory, right? So we have to use OPT assets in file 1 and file 2. This we can do in brace expansion also. That is what I was trying to show. So, but not like this. We have to use comma. Okay, and then you do 2. Or for example, txt is also common, right? So whatever is common, you can just do like this. So in fact, even file is common, so you can do like this. and it will expand it, right? So that is the idea. And just remove the other bracket from here, right? Like this. So 1 comma 2 is, it's not dot dot 2. Dot dot 2 is okay because anyway it is only 2. But if you have comma, then it just does for 1 and 2. Even if you do that, you should be able to get the same output, you see. Okay. So this helps
So
in that way.
we can have more than two files.
Yeah, we can have, but then I mean, in the
A
expansion we
file
can have,
say
but it
file one dot dot three.
we can have, but then I don't know what common will do with that. I mean, if we give three arguments, this is like, see, you're still using the common. You have just
Common to two
compressed
files.
version of that.
This is
Yeah.
common to two files.
So yes, if you want to see for two, if you want to see for more
More
than
than
two
two.
files, then you first try to do on the terminal, like specify three arguments and then see what output comes in. The same output will come in if you use brace expansion also. The output does not differ. It's just that it's like a shortcut method to do that. Fine. So these two things we
Or
have to use. So now let us,
we can take the first two files, put the output in one file, take the second and
yeah,
third, and then put it to the other file, second file, and then check the first two.
Common work
The
for more than two
outputs.
file also.
common will work for more than two files. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Then that is so. Then
that
in
is
that,
fine. Then you
yeah.
can have file one comma one dot dot three or
Yes.
one
Yes.
dot
You can
dot
have it.
four.
Yes.
So we
Correct.
can do
So
soft link also like this.
top link also, that's what I'm saying. So this is just a shorthand. Anything that is there, you just think about it like, for example, just think about it like summation we use in maths. Okay. So for example, summation of I is equal to 1 to n. Okay. So we say, so it is, I mean, if we were to expand it, then it will become 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus all the way up to n. That is what it becomes, right? If you expand it. So this is like a matter of notation only. We are doing the same thing. We are having two arguments here. So if somebody asks how many arguments we are providing to common command, we're actually providing two arguments. It's just that we have used brace expansion. So the actual command that is run is not this. The actual command that is run is basically opt /opt slash asset slash file one dot txt and then again /opt slash asset slash file two dot txt. Right. So this is how you should see it. When the actual command that is being run is actually the expanded version of this. Okay. So this just shorthand notation. Right. So this comes in handy in various situations. Okay. All right. So let us try doing it in a script. We'll see how to do that. Okay. So I'll go back again to nano. Should we do it in script.sh? Yes, script.sh. I go to hash and then bin bash. Hopefully it is correct. Kindly correct me if something is wrong. Diff should be small u, right? Okay. And again, so I can specify like this: opt assets file one dot txt
Sorry,
and
sir.
file.
I I checked it now. Common doesn't work with more than two file.
It does
It's
not work.
only
Yeah.
two file.
Okay.
Yeah, sir.
Right. So then the
Yeah.
earlier suggestion of having one file and then comparing, like meaning it, combining it to one file and then comparing the two might help.
Yes, sir. We have to
Yeah.
merge.
Fine. Okay. So what I was saying is, yeah. So we can have file one.txt and then space the same thing. Okay. But instead of doing that, since I know that everything else is going to remain the same, I'll just use brace expansion here to do that. So, and remember, file one is coming first. Okay. Here. And the other thing was common. And in that case, what do we need to do? 1, 2, right? So that we suppress the two columns. Only 3 is there. And then again, the same thing, opt assets file 1, comma 2 dot txt. Order matters, so it's okay. And we have to do it sequentially, meaning we have to first do diff and then common. Just save it. And chmod u plus x script.sh and then I let's try to run this. Let's see what the output is. Okay. So you see both things. First we are seeing the difference and then the from here onwards we are seeing the common names. Now, okay, hopefully it is correct. I'm not sure, but let's see. Okay, it passes. All right, so yeah, here you go. It's done. Um, right? And the last problem from BBT is BBT4. Yeah, go on. Any questions?
Yes, sir. Sir, can you open the script .sh again?
Mm-hmm. Here.
Uh, sir, what is the meaning of this bin base first line?
Okay, this one specifies the interpreter to use. So, for example, if you do dot slash script without specifying, so this is not an argument, right? I'm just running the file. It's as if it is. This is only for executable files, by the way. So when a file is executable, you can just do dot slash and then give the file name. So it runs that. Okay. So and the type does not matter. Okay. Here we have dot sh, but it could be anything, right? I can show you one more thing. So even if you move, I'm just renaming it from script.sh to just a script. Okay. I mean, I don't have the extensions do not matter. Okay. If you do ls minus l, you see a script is there, just script. No, not .sh is there, and nothing is there. So you just have it executable for the user. That is fine. So if you do dot slash script, it runs it. So the idea is that anything could be executable file, any file that is there, right? So the idea then in this comment is basically that when you specify it, it tells the operating system in some way, or the shell, which interpreter to use to run this following file. Okay. So for instance, I'll just yeah. So for instance, you might have used sed. Okay. So sed, I think minus f, and then you basically give
Sir,
give
what
your
is the
script.
use of sed command?
Sed is used to do some sort of find and replace line by line, right, in the input file that you have. So maybe we'll see that later. But the idea that I was explaining earlier is that if you want to run it not using bash, whatever is specified here, okay. If you don't want to run it using bash, maybe you want to use something else. For example, if you have a sed script here, then you will not write bash. Okay, then you run it via sed, and then you might give minus f maybe, and then you give the commands, set commands. Okay, so it says what what should be used to run that. So for example, one very good example might be of Python. I don't know whether Python is there or not, but if you give this, right, so not exactly this, maybe I'm not correct on the path, but wherever Python is in your system, you give that path and then write a Python script here, right, make it executable. Then if you do dot slash script, then the Python script will be run. Okay, is Python here? No, Python is not here, but that's the idea. So it basically tells the shell which interpreter to use to run your script. Okay, because every script has to be run using some interpreter. Like Python is an interpreter that runs Python scripts. Bash is having its own interpreter that runs it. Sed will run its own kind of scripts. Awk is a different script engine, so it'll run its own scripts. But even every time you do dot slash script, whatever script it might be, inside of that, it depends on what kind of interpreter you have specified. So when you are writing shell scripts, okay, and we just specify it so that we know what that is like, but that does not matter, the name does not matter in general, right? So if you go inside that, when you're writing shell scripts, you know that it needs to run using bash. So you give bash and then specify the command, so that when you do dot slash script dot sh, it knows which command to use to run, or which interpreter to use to run the script that you have specified. Okay, that is the
Oh, okay.
use.
I think it
Okay.
also works without
It's fine with the
specifying if we
interpreter.
don't specify that.
Right. Okay, good question. Good question. Somebody asked.
Because because I every time run without specifying that it will work.
It might be, yeah, good question. So it might be that the default interpreter is bash because you're already in bash, right? Yeah, it works. But if we were to specify something else, okay, let us try doing something else just to.
Sir, Python is present. We can use Python 3.
Oh, Python 3 is it? Okay.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm having a bash script here, and I'm going to run it via Python. It'll certainly throw an error, but let's see. In fact, I should not be. Okay. I mean, it should be okay, but let us. So, for
Sir, it
example,
is present in user bin Python 3.
fine. Thanks for that. Okay, so I have this now. now let us see the other part of it. Okay, I have a print hello, and that is of course Python. We all know it. And sh does not matter. Okay, I mean that sh part is not significant. See, it says some error, syntax error, of course, because that is expecting bash. It is run using bash by default, and you have a Python script, so certainly it will not work. It is executable, of course. Now, if I were to do this, I mention instead of bash Python, okay, and then say print hello, then you see what happens. You're still running a script out there because this is just a name, does not matter. It shows hello. Okay, so that
Okay,
is the
sir.
usefulness. And yeah, somebody else pointed out that if you don't specify, it goes to bash. That is okay. Okay, so what was that? Bin bash. So therefore we say bin bash, so that when we say dot slash whatever, it knows how to run. Okay. So quickly I'll write that again. T, I think a slash is missing. I'll add that later. 1 comma 2 txt. Maybe I can copy this now. It's faster this way. Com -1 2 paste, and this one has to be like this. Fine. Very good. Script permissions are already given. So yes. So you see, any file could be any can be run using any interpreter that is. Therefore, giving executable permissions to any arbitrary file about which you don't know should not be done, right? Only scripts that you trust should be given the executable permission, because if by mistake you run it, you don't it does not necessarily be a bash script. It could be anything. I mean, even bash scripts could do a lot. Uh, but yeah, so therefore you have to be careful. One other thing, of course, is to just have bin bash, and then inside of that you give Python 3 and possibly give your commands. Possibly it'll also work, right? So you go inside Python 3 and do whatever you want to do, like this. I'm still in bash, so this is not about that. And then I exit, but I don't know whether that will work or not. Okay, so that was a slight detour.
Sir, like Python, we can also use using a C.
Yeah, anything. But the problem with C is different. Since you brought this up, C, the program, once it compiles, okay, once it compiles, the program that you get itself is the executable, is the binary. I mean, it is not a script. Okay, this idea of having a comment and making a script executable is only about scripts, wherein you have code that will be run by some other interpreter. That therefore we say interpreter. But the problem with C is that when you compile the program, you have a C code, you compile it, you run through compiler, then the thing that you get as a result, the output of that, the compiled program, is the program itself, meaning nano. So for example, nano is the program. It's not a script, right? So you cannot like it when you do that, it'll just run. This itself is the executable. It's not a script. Okay, so the idea of comments are this thing. Interpreter comments only applicable to scripts and not to native programs, as we say it. Okay, now we go to last problem. In fact, I have to do mkdir, no? Fine. So the synchro show. All right. Okay. NS lookup. We had to do this one. Okay. Somebody was mentioning some issue was coming in when trying to do NS
Yes, sir.
lookup. Okay. Yeah, we'll see what happens to this one. What it says is, please use the NS lookup command. Okay. It says on PowerShell or Linux on your local system. Okay. It is saying we have to use NS lookup command on our system, not on the IIT VM. That is one thing to note. Okay. So they are not asking us to run NS lookup here. Okay. And so as to get the IP addresses, that I'll show how to do. Okay. Once we get that, after obtaining, so this we have to do locally, not here. Okay. After obtaining the IP addresses, enter each one into a browser to check if it directs you to the corresponding website. Fine. So that also you have to do locally, right? Because here there's no browser in the SSH. You have to do it on our computer, maybe. That is okay. Yes. For each website, print the result using echo command.
So the our evaluation. has been filled.
Mm, okay.
If I do not work in VM,
For each website, print the result using echo command. If the website is fully reached using the IP address, print. Otherwise, print no. Okay. So, see, the idea is, I understand what the issue is this with this problem. There's no issue. I mean, the way it is framed, they are actually asking us to just mention whether we were able to do the task or not. Okay. The actual thing that you have to do on this problem is to just echo yes or no. Okay, so I try it on my local computer, maybe for google.com. I try it separately, not here, not in the SSH, not in the IIT MVM. I try it separately. I'll use NSLOOKUP and then I'll go and check that on the browser, on my local system. Of course, there's no browser here. I do it. Once I see that I'm able to reach it, once I see that I'm able to reach it, accordingly, I'll have to do echo yes or no. Okay, so maybe I try it because not every website for which after you do NSLOOKUP, maybe I do NSLOOKUP for google.com, then I'll get an IP address. Then they are asking us to use that IP address to go to that website, okay, on the browser. So instead of typing out www.google.com, I'm going to give the IP address that comes up when I do NSLOOKUP. Some IP address will come up. Okay, like for example is actually the example domain itself. Okay, so it says example.com. So it goes to this IP address, for example. So what they are asking us to do is to copy this IP address that you get after doing NSLOOKUP and try it on your browser. Are you able to reach it? Are you able to reach that same website when you use this one? So what I'm saying, in some cases it might happen, but generally it does not happen. So for most of the website, I think if you do that NSLOOKUP, you get the IP address and you try to put that in the browser, you will not be able to reach it. Okay, in some cases you might be able to reach it, some cases you might not be able to reach it. Okay, so that is what happens in general. Now this question is saying, if you are able to reach it, then say yes. If you're not able to reach it, then say no. So the actual thing that we have to do is to just do echo. There's no use of NSLOOKUP here. We need not do anything. So in fact what I can do is something like this. So I have the domain names. I'll show you what you have to do basically. The actual objective of this question is not to have that. It's just about the echo. Okay. So and then again bin bash. Right. And then I have the domain names. I get the line number also. I have to remove it. In fact, there must be a better way to do this. But yeah. So what they are asking you to print is this. The actual thing that we need to do is something like this. So you do echo. Maybe I'll quote it. And if I'm able to do whatever is asked, if I'm able to reach using iPad, then I say yes. Okay. So this is what they are saying. So in fact, you can have the script beforehand. Let us create the script beforehand. Maybe I'll put yes for everything now. I'll check later and accordingly change it. So this is what you need to do. This is what they're doing asking us to do. And maybe yes for everything. I don't know whether it'll be yes or no. I have to check that. But once I check that, I'll update it. So the actual script is just this, just the echo commands. And that's what they're asking us to do. Because we don't know, we'll just eval and see if that works. Not for everything it'll work. I know it'll certainly fail if I give yes to everything. Because
I
for some sites I'll not be able to reach it. But let's see. Chmod u plus x. So assuming that we've done that and we see that for every website I'm able to do after an NSLOOKUP, I'm able to reach using the IP address, then I echo accordingly. I've done so. Assuming that I do yes for everything, and then eval should fail. I think it'll fail. Yeah, it fails. You see? Okay. So in fact, here we get the answer itself. You see? So for YouTube, so for Yahoo, I have given yes, right? But it should be no. For public test case one, it fails. So it's a trivial question in that sense, right? We need not even check for it because that's what they're saying. If you are able to reach it, then say yes. If you're not able to reach it, then ideally you should do that because that's what asked. That is what is asked here. But from the public test case itself, we see that it is for Yahoo, YouTube, and Amazon. It is no. Right. So what I can do is uh, for Yahoo, I can make it no. Amazon, it's no. Uh, YouTube is no. Possibly Google, and that I can reach. So let's see. You see, it passed. So we did not use. So we did.
Actually, this
Go on,
method
please.
is this method is like cheating. Okay.
Yeah, possibly, but that's what they were asking us to do. I mean, the question.
But I want to know that, sir. Please, can you demonstrate it?
Yeah, so I can. If you do NS lookup here, see, the idea is that NS lookup you have to do on your local system. Okay, that is what they are saying. We cannot do NS lookup here, but if we do that, let us see if we get that or not. And even if we do that here and get the IP address, sorry, www, right? Yeah,
www.
yeah. So for example, we get it, right? So assuming that this is the address. Now, even if I get that, there's no way to check whether I'm able to reach it or not, from here. I mean, there is a way. There is a way. I mean, if you go to other weeks, maybe you'll see there's a way to know that as well, whatever they are asking. But since they said that you have to run it on the browser, you have to visit it on the browser, uh, you know, uh, yeah, using browser. Okay. So browser is not here. So I have to anyway go back to my system and then maybe check using this. So what I can do just to show you is to share my window of the browser and then try for Google. That is what they're saying. I got the address and I share the window, this one. So I copy the address, okay, and then paste it. Let's see. So you're able to see, right? I gave the IP address. So this IP address I got from NS lookup, okay, and then I press enter. I'm able to reach it. I went to Google even after giving the IP address. I hope everyone saw, right? So yeah, if you are able to reach it, then you have to echo yes. If you're able to reach it, then you have to echo yes. If you're not able to reach it, then echo no. So that's what we've done. We will check it for everything. For Google, it is yes because we are able to reach it. For Yahoo, again we can do. So NS lookup maybe we can do here. So let me do. I'm doing it for Yahoo. Yeah, go on please. Somebody has raised a hand.
When I did this, then in my browser, Google didn't open with its IP address,
Okay.
and some of other website didn't open too. So I put it no, but it was showing wrong answers. So I
I see.
corrected it by that
I see. I see.
suggestion.
I see. So yeah, there are two things here. It might be that from some networks, it might be that it is not reachable. Though in general, if you're able to reach it using the IP address, you should be able to reach it from everywhere. Therefore, this question is there. I mean, for example, for Google.com, if I'm able to reach it, then ideally you should be able to reach it too. Uh, you know, but then there's one thing that you have to keep in mind. The NS lookup I did here, right? So if I were to share my screen again, the terminal, NS lookup I did on the VM, and then the IP address I got on the VM, I tried it on my local system. Right. Therefore, there might be a difference. What you have to do is maybe you have to do NS lookup on your system and then whatever IP address you get, because it might differ, right, across systems. So it might not be the case necessarily that whatever I'm getting on the VM is the same IP address for google.com on your system. So you have to do NS lookup on your system. Therefore, they are saying that you have to do it on your local system. Once you do that, whatever IP you get, then you try it on your browser locally. If you are able to reach it, then yes. If not, then no. I mean that's what they're asking for. But perhaps this question could be reframed a little bit, to actually do that. Yeah. But again, we would encourage you to do this one, like
Try
as it says.
try with
Go on.
Yahoo also.
Sorry, Ravikant, I missed that. Go on, please.
Sir, I want to say that, please try with
Hmm.
Yahoo also.
Okay, with Yahoo also, fine. So let us see. So I'm doing Yahoo. So many addresses are there. So for any one of the address, I can possibly go. Let's try the first one. Okay, and then I'm opening it.
Yeah, so
It's
which
not
one to
shared
pick?
my window.
Which one to pick? When we are getting so many addresses, then which one to pick?
I mean, you can try it with all of the addresses, no?
Okay.
So if anyone else is able to reach you, then in that case it should be. But I'll check with the team once regarding this question. Okay, I mean, because it might possibly create an ambiguity as somebody was pointing out. Whatever IP you get, and again, this IP you are getting here, maybe on my system, if I try get a different set of IPs, that is okay. But it might be that from my system, I'm not able to reach it. It might happen, right? And then you don't know whether to answer yes or no. So that becomes difficult. Okay.
Sir,
So
but
yeah,
it
I
means
get that.
we get
four IP address means server are hosted to this four IP address.
Okay, so for that, it would be a long discussion if I were to actually explain what happens. But then again, not necessarily of the server. Okay, there's something called a load balancer. So these things go to a load balancer, and then from
Okay,
that,
sir, I got it. I got it.
yeah. So, and again, I mean, these things are distributed across geographical regions, right? So something may be, some servers might be in some other country, in some other places, and so on. Lots of servers are there, so there is sometimes. So therefore, you see, whatever you do NS lookup, sometimes the IP addresses that you get remain constant, but you don't know. Maybe for Google.com, if you do a NS lookup tomorrow, it might change. You don't know, right? For some websites, it remains constant. So for some, it changes. But the idea is whether you are able to reach it or not. Okay. Yeah, one more thing that I would like to
Sir,
point out is they're asking that you should be able to reach the same page that you reach when you write yahoo.com on the browser. Like, so you write yahoo.com on the browser, you reach some page, right? Some home page you reach. So they are asking us to try out from the IP addresses. Is there anyone which is leading to the same page? Are you getting, like, for example, google.com? I tried out, so I got the IP address. I tried it on my browser, so I went to google.com on the same page, meaning the home page that was. So if I'm getting to the same place, then that possibly is what they're asking for. Okay, but nonetheless, ambiguity remains because of this. See later. The point of this exercise is to just make you familiar with NS lookup. The idea of NS lookup is behind the domain names that are there. What is the current IP address that is associated with a particular domain? You'll be able to see that using NS lookup. Okay, and then of course there are other various things that you can do with NS lookup, but one of the most important things is to get the IP address behind the domain. Yeah, go on.
sir,
I think
it
Himanshu
means
wanted to
when
ask.
So for that IP address, can you put it in the browser and check?
Which IP address?
Yahoo.
Yahoo.
This one? Okay. Yeah, I'm getting to a page. I'm getting to a page. It's not that nothing is coming up. Yahoo is showing up, but it says it shows an error message. Like Yahoo is coming up, but some error message is coming up. So I don't know whether
Like service is going, like
yeah.
maintenance is going on.
Yeah, maintenance. Yes, maintenance page is showing up. I don't know why is that. Can you try out yahoo.com itself?
Sir, actually, I have tried, but
No,
I did not
yahoo.com
work.
works.
No, sir, it's not works.
Hmm. Yeah, fine. So for the time being, what you can do is again just try it with the correct set of combinations that we have, right?
sir,
So with
I have one doubt, sir.
mhm.
Sir,
So
when
therefore it
we
says Yahoo is no, right? Because you're not able to reach it. Meaning you get to a different page, therefore it is no.
So we are going to Yahoo only, but it is not open to public. Right?
Yeah. Basically, you're not going to the same page as if you were to go with the .com. This one, like if you put in the domain name, then the page that you get to is not the same page as when you go to the IP address. Therefore, no. See, when it matches, so in the case of Google, however, when I tried with the IP address, I went to the same page. The same page as when I give google.com, I go to the same page, right? I mean, it's the same thing. So then since I'm able to reach the same page, I said yes. In this case, we are reaching something, but it's not the same as what we reach when. So same for YouTube and Amazon. Okay, fine. So right. Any other questions before we move forward to maybe
For the
discussing the
Yahoo,
factors?
there was some other IP address, right? So those
Sir,
are IPv6, right?
Yeah, this the longer IP is basically your IP version 6. All these
But that also, if you copy paste, it is not working. It is not going
yeah.
inside even that
Yeah.
maintenance.
Oh, it's not going to the okay.
Only V4 is working.
Mm-hmm. The above four are working, I think, but these four are actually going to the maintenance page, right? Okay, fine.
Sir, you were saying to discuss
So I think
BPT
this
too
question
quickly,
and
problem too
bonus.
quickly.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ganga, for mentioning that. I'll go back.
Just
sir,
very
before
quickly.
we proceed, I have one doubt in that NS lookup command, sir.
Uh-huh.
That means when we hit run the NS lookup command, we get the all the possible server that where that website is hosted. Am I right?
Uh,
Because in
yes and no. I mean, basically, the IP address not does not necessarily point to where it is hosted, the website. But again, yes. I mean, you the correct word to say is to that mm, the IP address that is currently associated with that domain. You get that. See, so yahoo.com, whatever IP address is associated with that, it does not necessarily mean that the website is actually hosted here. You see, but it's just that it is this domain is pointing to this address. That is the correct way to say it. And therefore, you see, when you try to visit it using the browser, we get some other page, right? Not the correct website. Okay, so that happens. But the thing is, this address is currently pointing to this IP address, like meaning this domain is pointing to this IP address and so on. And then there are various DNS records and so on. So for that, you have to study a bit about DNS before we can discuss that. Balakrishnan, go on, please.
Yeah, sir. I tried to do practice assignment 4.2, fourth week, second practice programming assignment.
Mhm.
And I tried to use grep and cut and do it, but I couldn't do it. How to do it?
Practice which one? Practice,
Practice
sorry?
programming assignment, PPA
Oh,
2, week 4.
okay. So yeah, before we get there, Balakrishnan, I think somebody has asked for the problem 2 of BPT 1, so we'll go there first. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, nothing is there. Synchro show. Oh, this one. Okay. So yeah, we can quickly do that. It says please use your knowledge of the commands like mkdir. We know that, right? Touch also we know. ln is for symbolic and hard links, both the things. If you want to do soft link, symbolic links or soft links, you do ln minus s. If you want to make hard links, then you just do ln without having the argument. That is one thing. To achieve the following directory structure in the current vendor. So that kind of a structure we need to make. And by running, okay, it says by running the commands and not the script. Okay. All right. So I mean, what we can do is we can have a script and then we can run it and then eval. So it is the same as if we have run that command on the terminal. You see, that is also one way. But we can also do it by running the commands. Okay. So I was hoping I could just uh, put it somewhere so that I can see. But anyway, let's see. So it says base directories project. Inside of project we have this. Okay, source and docs and a bin. So this first part, let us try doing the first part, and then we'll go to create files and then creating hard links. Okay, so we start with number 1. Yeah, Anu, go on.
Sir, during OPP also we can have long questions. How to view them side by side?
Okay, so for that you can use tmux. No, uh, let me do that. How do we do that? Tmux new session, right? I think. Right. I'm in, and then I do synchro show. So to split, you need to do Control Shift B. Is it? Control B? No. Let me see. Tmux. There's a shortcut by which you can split the screen once you are in Tmux. This green bar basically shows you that.
Sir, Control B then Shift 5, sir.
Control B, then
Shift 5.
Shift 5. Okay. Control B, Shift 5. Okay. Thanks. Very good. So we got this right. And but in case you don't know, you can just look up in the help. And how do I switch to the other one, Ritu? Do you know that?
Sir, I don't know that, sir. Basically, I am facing the same problem. I split that terminal. Then
No, it's okay. I
maybe
mean,
maybe you open that question now. Then you can.
yeah, it's okay. I mean, everything will be given here, so we can see, right? All these shortcuts are given. See, these are the key bindings. We need not remember it as such, right? So it says, uh, okay, Control B, okay, through to the application. That is okay. So this is to get to tmux. If you want to give some instructions to tmux, then you first press Control B and then give the command.
Sir,
Okay.
it's Control B and the arrow keys. Control B and arrow. Left, right,
Oh,
up, down.
okay, fine. Okay, very good. So, and all these commands are there. Space, you see up and down. So it says you can switch, move to the, okay. So this is the pane, arrange, move to the next window, this window. Okay. So you see left, right is changed to the pane above, below, to the left, or to the right of the current pane. So if I am to the right, then I press Control B in left arrow, then I go to the left pane. Similarly, if I want to switch to the right pane, then I go to do Control B and then switch to the right pane. By the way, one more thing, if someone of you is using Mac, then for them they have to do Command B, okay, instead of Control B. There's a command key in Mac, so you have to use that. All right. So let us try doing that. So I'll quit. So again, Control B, Shift 5. Okay. So I'm here. I do Control B and then left arrow. Okay. You see? So I'm here this side now, and Control B, right arrow, and this side. Okay. Thanks for that. So you have to do Control B first. All right. So now, since I have the directory open on both sides, this is helpful, by the way. Right. And then I can do what I can. Do, let us do synchro show on the right pane. So for that I do Control B and then right arrows. I'm here this side, and then I'm going to do synchro show here. Okay. Yeah, this is better. So I'll do problem on one side, the other side I'll just see that. Maybe let me try making it a little bigger. Yeah, I can make it a little bigger, right? Okay. Is the text size fine? Still fine? You're able to read that?
Yes.
Yes, sir. It's clear visible.
Okay.
Yes.
Just do synchro show again so that, yeah, fine. So okay, I can Control B now, come this side, and all right. So what we have to do, base directory is project. We have to run the commands. Okay, there's no script as such, but we can have it. We can have it in the script also, but let us try doing it as it is. Okay. So first of all, the base directory, which is project. So this part is done. Project. Oops. Okay, tab does not work. Done. Project, and within project I have to create the following subdirectory using brace expansion. The nice thing about this one is that they are already giving us the names in the brace expansion format, so you can just copy this one, right? Within project, and then inside of that you can have source also. So there's one thing that you need to make sure. If I go to project, now I'm in project. Okay, on the left side you see project. Okay, so this is the base directory. I have to create now source module 1, module 2, include, and libraries and so on. But before that, you see one thing, source is not here. There's no source folder. SRC folder is not there. So if I just do mkdir src slash something module 1, let's say, just for an example, it'll throw an error saying that source is not there. Right. So you have to have source also before you can do anything.
P will be used.
Yeah. So in that case, you can use P to make it simpler. So that's what we'll do. So we'll do mkdir. If I were to just copy, because it's already in the brace expansion form, paste it here. You see it's there, and it says no such directory because the parent directories are not there. So to make it work, I can just have P here. So it works. You see? Now we have project, inside of that we have source, module 1, module 2, and possibly I can use tree to see that. So you have module 1, oops, you have module 1, module 2, and include and libraries inside of that. Okay. Then I have a separate directory docs. Inside of docs, we have API and manual. From here, from SRC itself, we'll create. No, not from SRC. This is from projects, right? Because this under project we have docs, and then we have API and manual, as we see on the right side. So we go back to projects, and then we create docs and manual. Sorry, docs is there, right? So docs. Inside of that, you have API and manual like this, and we have to possibly do P also because docs is not there. So again, minus P to create the parent directory. Done. So you see source and docs. Again, do
So,
tree.
API and manual are getting created as directory or file? API and
Directory.
directory.
API directory subdirectory. No, see,
Okay,
create
yes,
the following subdirectories. Yeah. And then it says create a directory bin within project. So we are already in project, so we
But I
can
think
just do
in
it.
one of the example we created file like this, so like a file inside the directory we created the same command mkdir minus p.
Yeah. So that was a different thing. That was for the first problem, I think, department and team.
Yeah.
Right. So no. So that was a two-step thing. First, we did mkdir to create the directives, and then we did touch to actually create the files.
Okay, got it.
Got it? Yeah, so for example, this one, right? So create files is coming up in this one also, like the second part. Okay. All right. And before that, so we have bin mk dir bin already in project. So I'll just do tree. Tree is done. Bin docs source and so on. Okay. So it says source module 1 include create an empty file. Name this. Okay. So all right, and then inside of lib I have to create and then include. This is for module 1 and module 2. In fact, what you can do, you can just copy, that is easier. So I can just copy touch. Source is already there, and then I go inside that module 1.h. This part is done, and then I have lib. I'm just doing touch from here itself. That is fine. All the directories are there, so that is fine. Sorry, I copied it. No, oops. No, no, no. Think something wrong. I copied. I had to copy this one, right? Lib. Hmm. And module 1 lib, and then we have module 1.so. Okay, this part that is also empty, therefore touch. Then I go to module 2. So what I can do is right. So you see one pattern is there. If you pay attention to this part on the right side, it says module 1 include, and then inside of that module 1.h, and then module 2 include module 2.s h,
Right.
right? And
Yes.
similarly for lib. So instead of okay. So in the case of module include, I can have this, right? So module 1 and 2 for both I have include, and then h files are there for both modules, right? So say in the, no, but then this is different. This will be like creating module 1 and module 2 both in module 1. So that should not be like in the directory module 1, module 2 will also be created. So this we should not do. Yeah, I think this will not work in this case. Anyway, so okay, include and lib is done, and I'll just copy that again and make it 2, because this is what it says in the third line of the second section. Okay, module 2.h done, and then I do for lib lib module 2.so. Okay, so same thing, right? Quite similar. Done, and then I have to create the hard link. So before that, I just do tree just to see that. So you see this is matching. In fact, let me clear and tree again. So I have bin in the project, we have bin docs API manual inside of docs, and then we have source module 1 include module 1.h, lib we have module 1.so. Similarly for module 2 include module 2.h, and lib also we have module 2.so. Okay, now the third part, is there anything else to this side? I control B right side, I just scroll it. Okay, so many things. Yeah, so 3 4 5 we have to see. Fine, I come back, control B, left arrow. Okay, hard link to module H in the bin directory and name it this. Okay, create a hard link to module 1.h in the bin directory. So we have to go to bin directory. In the bin directory we have to create, so we have to be there. Okay, and the hard link should be to module 1.h. Now remember, every time you are doing hard links or soft links, always make sure that you use the absolute path. Okay, so that, because otherwise if you use relative paths, that becomes confusing.
Sir, but when we use relative path in hard link, it work. But when we use in soft link, it show errors in
Yeah.
this
So
code.
therefore I am saying always, basically it is better if you use it in the as an absolute path.
Absolute path.
Yeah.
Absolute.
Okay, okay, fine. So let us see. In the bin, we have to create to what? Module 1.h, right? So for that, one thing that we can do, we can just go to module 1 first. This part, module 1.h, where it is? It's in source, module 1, include, and then module 1.h, right? So if I were to do tab, do I see the, okay. I mean, no, if I were to, in the ls command also, there was a way to print out the absolute paths, no? How do I scroll it? Okay. Okay, anyway, so basically I know the path, right? So this is the thing from within home I'll do. There was a way to get the full path from a relative path also, but we'll see that later. Okay, so I have copied the path to this, and I'll go to bin now because it asks us to go to bin, right? And then I'm doing ln again. Remember hard link, right? Just have to do ln, and I give the path to module 1. So that is problem 2, project source module 1 include, and then I give,
So the path include tilde also, right? Tilde sign.
yeah, tilde it will be including that because it start from that, right? I mean possibly with ln, meaning the hard link, it will work with the relative part also, but let us have it. Okay, it does not take much. You just have to copy the full path, right? That is an easier way to make sure that it'll work. And then the name is this, right? So I'll just copy the name. We are in the bin directory, and we are creating a link to this module 1.h is there, right? And then I give the name. So I'm in the bin directory, therefore it will be the hard link itself will be created in the bin directory, and that hard link is to that file for which we have given the absolute path. So there are two arguments here. One is this, the file to which to link, and the name of the hard link. Hopefully the order is correct, but I'll check in case. Done. Okay, so now if you see that, this is a hard link, right? So how do I know that? Possibly you can do file, no?
ls minus I, sir, if I node number is same then.
File minus I, is it? Okay. Or stat. No, I'll just do a stat, no?
ls minus I, sir. We can see the I node number.
Oh, is it? Okay, okay. Yeah, here we have also stat minus I. You can also use stat. You can also use. So you see, the inode is 541838 Okay, and if we were to go back, in fact, we have the path itself, no? So we just add that. Hopefully it is copied correctly. Copy till here. Yeah, the split screen sometimes creates a problem. Okay, so I have include module 1. Does that include you have, right? It's not working. I'll just start this just to match it. Okay. So project source module 1 include module 1.h. Yeah. So you see, this is the hard link module 1 underscore hard link.h, which is in the bin directory as we were checking from here itself. Right. And the inode of that is 541838. And I just did a stat for this absolute this thing, this file, you see. This file is the path is shown here. Module 1.h and the inode is same. So then we are sure that the hard link is created correctly. Okay. Then we basically have to do the same thing for this one. Hopefully, module 2, but this time it is not for module 1.h. It is for module 2.so. Okay. So module 2.so, where it is, I have to see that, no? From project, I'll just clear it up. This time I'm going to do for the other file. So module 2.so it is asking us to. So this one, right? We have it in source module 2 lib, and to this file we have to create that. So, and we had to create it where? We had to create it in bin, as it says on the right side. So you go to bin. Again, same thing. This time I'll just change. Maybe I can just change, no? The same command. Yeah. So we have what? Project source module 2 and then lib, not include lib. And then we have module. There's only one module 2.so file, right? So file. So I go to module 2.so and not stat. I'll just ln that. Similarly, as we've done for the previous one, and we are in the bin directory, by the way. Okay, we are in the bin directory currently. The current directory is bin. We are doing hard link to module 2 lib module 2.so here, meaning in the bin directory, and the name should be this module 2 underscore hard link.so. So I just paste it here, right? And you see it is done. Now what I can do, I can just add the original file, this one, copy. Okay, if I were to copy like that, it would be problematic. Maybe I can remove this part and then just to see the inode. That okay. So the inode is 541841 for the original file that was there. Module 2.so. This file, the inode is this. Fine. And if I were to do ls here in the bin, if I were to do ls here in the bin, I see module 2 hard link here also, right? So then in that case, I can do a stat to this just to match it. You see it is matching, right? 541841. And it is also matching with this 541841. So meaning the hard link is created correctly. Now we have to do soft links. Okay, the fourth part. The fourth part is this in docs, not in bin. So we'll go to docs. Docs. No, it says create a soft link to the docs directory in the project directory. Okay, this is for the directory itself. So we are in the project and we are creating a soft link to to the docs directory. Again, maybe it will be better if we use the absolute path. So project up until project, and then we have docs. This folder is there, and this we are creating in the project directory named documentation. Okay, so the name is the second parameter argument. So the first one is the directory name to which the link is being created. This is soft link. So therefore minus s, and the name is documentation, and we are in the project directory, so it will be created in the project directory. Okay, done. I do to ls now. You see documentation is there, and this white color shows that it is a soft link. If I were to do ls minus l, you see it says documentation, which is in the project directory, is actually pointing to this project docs. You see, so this works. Right, and then one more is soft link to module1.so inside this part, right? This line number 29. Yeah, Prashant, go on, please.
Sir, while giving the soft link, you gave the absolute path, right?
Huh?
So when should we give absolute path and relative path?
See, I mean, for solving problems at least, no. I mean, I cannot comment in general, but I think if you give absolute pass, then you can be sure that it will work regardless. But again, sometimes it creates problems. So we'll see. We'll see. Let us see evaluation, and then accordingly we'll decide what to do. Okay. Um.
Yes, sir. Because for this problem, I tried the relative path and there was some error. Then I made absolute path and
Yeah.
test case passed.
In general, well, it should be okay if you give absolute path always, regardless of hard links or soft links, right? But yeah, somebody pointed out in the chat. But then in some cases, your usage of absolute path might create problems also, right? In some cases, it might be necessary that it uses relative path. But again, we have not seen that case yet, so better not to worry about that. I would just well, if I were to say something, then I would just advise you to just go with absolute paths, at least for solving problems, unless it fails. So it should not ideally fail if you use absolute paths. Okay, and that creates less confusion anyway, so that'll be okay. All right. Um, mm, what we were doing, yeah. So this part four, section 4, yeah, this last part is remaining. Line number 29. So I've linked to module1.so inside module2 lib directory. So we'll go to module2 first. Where is the module 2? We have to do tree again, right? Module 2 lib is this. Okay, so this we are asking us to create to module 1. We are in module 2, right? So we'll go to source, module 2, lib, right? And we are inside module 2 lib directory. And we have to create a soft link to module1.so named module1 underscore symbolic link.so. So we have to create symbolic link to this one, module1.so. Okay, so again I'll give the full path. Maybe it'll be easier. So I'll copy this one. I'll just change it accordingly. So I'm going to make a symbolic link here to what? To module 1. Okay, inside of module 1 we have lib, right? So module 1 lib module1.so. To this file, we are creating symbolic link to this file, module1.so, inside of where? Inside module 2 lib, because that's what we have. Module 2 lib we have, and the name is going to be this, module1 underscore symbolic link.so. So the name is here, and since we are here in the current directory, it will be created in lib only, meaning module 2 lib. And this is the link to, again, module 1 lib module1.so. Okay, so be careful about that. And once we create, we do ls minus l. Hopefully we see that. Okay, so you see module 1 underscore symbolic link is actually pointing to this absolute path, source module 1 lib module1.so. Okay. So this is what they were asking us to do. The name is correct also. And the last thing that we need to do is to modify the permissions. But before we go to the fifth part, maybe it'll be a good idea to just do a synchro eval also. Make sure that yeah, you see, everything works. Softlink also, this last part works. Permissions are not set, right? Because we've not done that. That's okay. We'll do the fifth part now. So the fifth part says the set the permission of the project directory to 755. That is easy to do. You just do chmod 755 comes first and project. Done. Set the permissions of all directories under project source to 700. So for that you have to do chmod minus r recursive, and this should be what, 700, right? To what? Project source. So it says source directory as well as anything inside of the source directory should have the permission 700. Therefore recursive. Oops, I think to give the name first or like this.
Sir, capital R.
Oh, capital R, right? Oh, sorry about that. Let me. No, that's okay. But what is the order of the arguments? Order is like this, right? So you have to give the option first. Oh, any options, option comes first. So minus R comes first, and then the mode, then the file, right? So the path comes in the last argument.
R should
Okay.
be in a capital.
Yeah. So like this, right? And R
Yes, sir.
700, and then project source. So therefore, all directories under project source will be 700, including I think source as well. Fine. Done. And set the permissions of all .h files to 644. How do we do that? Okay. So if I were to do tree, so you see tree we have include and right. So we have two includes. We can do it manually also. No, we can just go to yeah, we can just go to every include directory and then have the h file and then accordingly change it. That will be easier, I think, because it says all h files. There are only two h files there, or maybe uh, the hard link as well, and then for the .so files also. So we'll try to do it for the file, because for symbolic links the thing is that it's basically a link, right? So you need not do for this symbolic link itself. You just do for the original file that is there, and the permissions I think will be reflected. But we'll see what happens. Okay. So that part is done. So let us start. So we'll go to module 1 first. In fact, what we can do is we can do something like this, no? Chmod 27644, right? And the path is this source, and inside of source, yeah, module 1 and 2 both, right? So we'll do it for both, something like this. Sorry, we'll do for both. Fine. And inside of both, so we are kind of targeting both, right? So we'll go to module 1 first and then to module 2, and then include is common in both, so we have include, right? And inside of include we have only one h file, so we'll do x3.h. Basically any file that is inside of, we have only two files anyway, so we can also do module again here 1 comma 2h. This might be possible, but let's see. This will possibly throw one error, which is that yeah, it should work. Okay. So 644, I'll go to module 1 include and module 2 include, and all the h files I'll set it to 644. The thing that we have not done right now is about the hard link, right? So in the bin hard link is there, right? This one we have not changed it, but we'll see. Okay. And SO files also. So for the SO files again same thing. So you do it for module 1, module 2, and SO files are in lib only, right? So you have lib here. I have SO files. So I'll just, instead of going to include now, this way I'm doing it for both, right? Module 1 and module 2. So I go to lib and all SO files, I'll change it to 755. So I go to this 755 and this should be done. Okay. Now the only thing that remains is these two files, because it asks for all H files and all SO files. But for symbolic links, I think we need not do it, because symbolic links basically, I think, hopefully, I'm not sure, but we have to see that. Hopefully it will reflect the permission uh, of the underlying file. Okay. So that we can see later. But these two are files, meaning, I mean, these two are hard links, so we can possibly change it. But before that, let me see. In fact, let me see if the permissions
So,
have been.
so for
Yeah,
hard links, won't they change automatically?
yeah. So yes, correct. So that is what I am trying to see also. So you see, for hard link, the permission is something like RWX, which means 7, right? And what they were asking, 755, right? And this is 5. Yes, you don't have right, but you have R and X, which means 5 basically. And you have this also is 5, right? So 755, yeah. So hard links also they are reflecting. the correct permissions. Is it the same for soft links also? Not able to recall at the moment. So therefore, it's better to check that. So we go to module 2. This is fine then in that case. For hard links, I think we need not do that, as you pointed out correctly. But let us see for the symbolic link. Oops, you have to go to source first. Okay, clear. And this one, right? So ls minus l. Yeah, so for the SO file, it says 755. 755 is there for this SO file, which is correct. And yeah, symbolic links, you know, need not change the permission as such, I think, because this is the links to that. No, I mean, I'm not sure as whether we have to do this for this one also, and whether it is even possible to change it or not. I'm not able to recall. Let us see for this one. We'll keep it as it is for now. The actual file we have, and we made it correct anyway, right? And for module 1, hopefully it is also changed now. I have to go back. This is for module 2, right? So I'll go to module 1 and lib ls minus l. In fact, this is the symbolic link. So after the symbolic link, meaning the symbolic link is pointing to this file, right? It's correct, and this file is having this permission 755 755, right? So hopefully it should be okay. Similarly for h is 744, right? So you go to include ls minus l. Yeah, this 7 was read right. No, but it's not 7, right? 644. Sorry, six.
Yeah.
644. Okay, 644. Yeah, this correct only, right? What else? H is done. SO is done. Yeah, I think we are good to go.
So it means both of them got changed automatically, right?
Yeah, because of the brace expansion.
No. Talking about the soft link which has been created. So change mode has been done there also. Huh?
For the hard link, it is done. Yes.
Okay.
You need not do it for the hard.
For soft link, it has not been done, right?
Yeah, but the soft link we have not done it, and it is not like it's a different kind of permission, so we have to see. But for the actual file that it is pointing to, it is changed as we see.
Yeah.
So, but I'll check in case we need to do it for this one. I think we need not do it for this one. This is not actual file as such, right? This is just a link. So, but we'll see. And somebody pointed out that for hard link it is changed. This is correct. This is again 644. So for hard link it is correct. And for module 2 hard link SO is also 755. So 755. Yeah, good enough. I think now we can do the evaluation. Oops. Okay, I have to go to the parent. Always make sure that you run eval from within the project, the problem root folder. Okay, done. 28 out of 28 passed. All right, so yeah, this part for 4 and 5 was slightly difficult, but then yeah, you have to just be careful about where you are changing the permission, from where you are changing, and to, like when you are creating the links, you have to make sure about 3 things. Okay, so one thing is where you are currently, meaning the current working directory, because the link itself is going to be created there where you are. Like for example, I was in the bin directory when I created the hard link to module 2, for example, or module 1, anything. So I created this, I was in the bin directory, therefore it got created here. So this is the current directory you have to be careful about. And the name of the file, the link, meaning the name of the link itself, what is getting created. Okay, so that you have to make sure that you name it correctly. That is the second thing. So that comes later. So you have something like this. You do ln, the file to which you are creating. I'm not sure if the terminology is right, but this is the destination file, and the name of link is going to be there, right? So you have the ln, and then you give the path to which you want to do that, and the name of the link. So this name of the link is going to get created here itself, meaning in the current directory. So project bin, if I were to do here, then it gets created here. So these 3 things you have to be careful. And then, so first thing is the first argument to ln is the file to which you wish to create the link, and then comes the name of the link itself. Okay, so that is so destination file in the hard link case is to module2.so, which is residing somewhere else. In this case, this part, the name of the link is module2_hardlink.so, which is getting created here because we are here. One more thing I'd like to just point out is that you can possibly give, not possibly, I think you can give absolute path here also in the second argument to also change where it is created. So for example, I'll just show you. In fact, this part is important to remember. Generally what we do is we go to that directory wherever we want to create the directory, and then create the link, and then we create the link there. right? But there's also one thing that you can do. Maybe if I do ln minus s, okay, and then I give the whole path. I don't know if I have the some of the links are there, right? Some of the longer commands that we were using. Okay, yeah, this one. Okay, so this is creating to module1.so. Okay, so we are where? We are in the bin. We are in the bin directory currently, and we are not giving anything. So let's say I'm calling it new link. Okay, new link.so. I do ls. This new link is created to some file. This is okay. The first parameter again to the destination file where you want to create that and the name of the link. And we were here in project bin, therefore it got created here. Now what I'm saying is you can have absolute path for this one also. Okay, so then in that case, what can happen is that you can create it anywhere else also, regardless of where you are present. But I advise you to also always go there, go where you want to create and then create it instead of giving the path like this. But I'm just showing you. Okay, so you go to SE 2001 and then DPT problem. What is this 2, right? And then let's say I just created in project inside of that there's nothing, right? So, but I am in project bin right now. So just give the name, then it should create the file there as it created here itself, right, in the bin. But in this case, what I have done is I have uh, given the whole path, right? So in that case, what should happen is that wherever whatever path I have given, it should create it there. Okay. So module1 new link will be created in project now. Let's see if that is done. So this was already there. I go back. You see in project it got created. So even though we were in a different directory. See. So if we give absolute paths for both the things, in fact, in particular for the name of the link, it is going to take that path to create the link. If you don't give anything, therefore, if you don't give anything, so for example, I am in bin and I don't give anything. I don't give the full path. I rather give a name. So I just call it same link, for example, and so no path is there. So it will take the current directory in that case, as usual. I'm in bin. So in this case, it is going to create here itself. You see, same link. You understand? So I mean, the best way to do it is to just go where you want to create that link and give the path to the destination file in absolute as an absolute path, but give the name of the link directly so that it creates in the current directory, similar to this one. Okay, so this is, I think, the way to go about it. But of course, I mean, as you keep using these commands, you get used to it, so it becomes easier for you to understand what is going on. Okay. All right. Okay. So that is all there was to this problem. I think BPT4 we discussed already, right?
Yes, sir. All four done.
BPT 1 4. Yeah, all 4
All
done.
four done. Yeah.
So yeah, that is all. I think we are going to close of the conclusion of the session. It's already 3:52, I believe. Any questions before we? Yeah. Okay. One more thing. So I have to do Control B, right arrow, and then Q so that I exit from here. I have to do exit from here so that this pane gets closed. So exit is done. Yeah, Anu, go on, please.
Sir, it's not related to this.
Uh,
Like I've given SCT on my present laptop, but it is not working very well. Is it
huh?
possible to give OPP on the other laptop?
Yeah, I think you can give it, but then just mail to support. Okay, just mail this thing to support. Also put it on Discord so that we keep a record of that.
So what
Again,
about VM?
sorry, VM. Okay, so you need to. Yeah, exactly. So for that, you need to create SSH key gen, meaning SSH key pair on the new on whatever laptop you want to give OPP, and then submit that public key again. Follow the steps, and then try to take SSH from there. So, but yeah, I'm not able to exactly advise you on this at this moment. It's better to just ask support. Okay, just mail it to support and put it on Discourse. Also tag me and other instructors so that we keep a note on that.
Okay, sir.
So
Thank
we
you.
can copy the SSH keys. I did the same thing. I copied the SSH keys generated on my laptop and I copied it to my desktop. So I'm using it from my desktop as well as from my laptop. So the
Yeah,
SSH
that is still possible, but in case her laptop is not able to open up, or if something has happened already, then in that case, she might
okay.
not be able to copy, right? If
Yeah.
she's able to copy, then possibly she can take SSH as well, isn't it?
I'm able to copy. Like presently, I'm working on the same laptop, but I need to change it.
Oh yeah, then in that case you can copy. Yeah, it's okay. But then again, do mention it to us. Otherwise, it might create problems later on. I don't know. Maybe it's better to mention that you are not using the same.
Yes.
Hopefully, it should not be a problem. But yeah, just do mention to us.
Okay, sir.
Just mention it on this course and email to support as well. Yes, Sonali, go
Sir,
on, please.
As you said that before doing the creating the hard link and the soft link, we should apply the absolute part.
Hmm.
So, sir, always we should do the absolute part.
Yeah, for the destination file to which you are creating the link, right? The destination, meaning the file to which you are creating the link, you should give it as the absolute path. That is the better way to go about it. The way I see it, at least at this moment, for creating for solving your questions, I think it'll be okay. But in general, I mean, it depends on the situation. Okay, sometimes you might need to give relative parts also. That's okay. It depends. But if I were to advise something, then I'll say that maybe you can go with absolute parts. Okay?
I think
Because
absolute part will be worth always.
Hmm. Yeah, it'll always work. But I mean, again, if there's something that basically checks for relative parts, then possibly it'll check for that. But yeah, I mean, you can go with that. I think shouldn't
yes,
hurt.
sir, because before not using the absolute part, I was getting the error again and again.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, for soft links, it always creates a problem. Maybe not for hard links, but soft links, you have to always use the absolute path. I think it is better. So if you're doing that for soft links, in that case, maybe if you do that for hard links as well, you know, that makes it consistent, isn't it? So, so
Okay, sir. So I have a problem in graded assignment, week 3, question number 3.
graded assignment week
Means
3, question number 3, is the deadline over?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So here the
Okay.
multiple choice questions will be there, but we have only.
Yeah, go on, please.
So the answer is means the correct answer is B and C, but here we have only choose only one option.
Okay, okay. Yeah, we'll take it at the end, Sonali. Okay. Any other questions before we close? So we'll close this one and then we'll take it. All right. So thank you all for attending, and we hope that you do well in
Yes,
the
sir. When is OPP actually?
OPP. When is OPP? Okay, so you have to
Yeah.
check the grading. Let me see.
3 March maybe.
March 3rd, is
28.
it?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about Linux labs?
Linux lab, you can ask in the TA session, no?
Sir, how to check TA, which TA assigned for me?
Okay. So you joined in the TA session, is it? Like the system commands TA session that happens the other days? Did you ask them? Maybe you can put it on Discourse then in that case if you're having difficulty in that. The TAs will be able to mention you about that now because I not having information about that at this moment. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Somebody was asking about OPP, no? So
Yes.
OPP for
Means in grading document it is showing on March 29th OPPE2. So I'm getting confused. Is it correct or
yeah, can you paste the link to the grading pattern here, please? I just want to see
yeah,
that
yeah.
once. Yeah. Yeah, system commands it says March 29th, right? So it's okay, right? And any confusion in that?
Yeah. It's 29th only then.
Yeah, it is mentioned 29th, right? Did
Yeah.
we communicate any other date or email or anything?
No.
No,
No,
nothing,
right?
sir. That is
Yeah.
the information till now.
Yeah, yeah. Then in that case, it should be 29th only. Yeah. Okay. Right. So then we'll close. Thank you all for attending, and those who are having some other issues may stay back for a couple of minutes. We'll take questions and then close. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.